But I'm here to say, like, we are under attack. And if you are like just taking a look in society, we are riddled with pain, right? We are riddled with pains of the past. People are enslaved to their past. And we have put so many labels on things. And by the way, I'm not saying we don't need to diagnose things. I absolutely think that there is a time and a place, but we have put so many labels on so many things that we have all these people walking around thinking that they're so broken and there's so much wrong with them that they need to be in all these programs, all these therapy things, take all these pills, do all these things. And it's like, whew, we overcomplicate things. We become more disoriented, more confused, more distracted. We are riddled with betrayal. We are riddled with pain. We are carrying resentment from the past. We have anger that hasn't been expressed in a healthy way, that hasn't been able to move from our system. It's either been suppressed, so it's repressed, and we're those passive aggressive kind of dynamics that we see playing out in relationships, right? Or there's the aggressive anger, the rage, the violence that we're seeing. There's just mistrust. The thing that I'm seeing over and over again in relationships, and men and women especially, that are coming to work with me, I'm sharing my own experience from the past and from the men and the women that I've worked with, is that they have lost the ability to really trust themselves, to trust their inner knowing that comes from being in connection with God, right? That the Holy Spirit is flowing through them. So there's this knowing, but we don't trust our gut. We don't trust our instincts. We don't trust our heart. We're afraid to trust ourselves. We certainly don't want to trust God because we can't see it sometimes. And then we don't trust each other. Everybody's walking around with their guard up. And I know that if you're listening to this, you have the seeds of God planted in you. I believe we all do. But I'm really calling us back. I'm calling us back. I'm calling us to rise back to what we know. There is a gap between us, between humanity. And, marriages are crumbling. We are starved for real intimacy. There's a gap between us. The masculine and the feminine have been pitted against each other, knowingly or unknowingly. And by the way, this isn't just happening out there in the world. It's happening in all sorts of communities, right? All sorts of upbringing. It's happening in the church. It's happening in the non-church. It's happening in the spiritual and not religious communities. It's happening in the religious communities. It's happening everywhere. That because we're too entrenched in labels and external ideas instead of our original design. So I want to say it again. We're starved for real intimacy, yet few have ever experienced it. There's messages for personal power everywhere. Reclaim your personal power, reclaim your confidence, and do this. And like, it's all about self-empowerment. Well, I've never seen so much personal development, and I've done a lot of this work, and I've taught a lot of these things throughout the years. If we have so much there, why are so many people massively enslaved still? Enslaved to systems and lies of the world. And what I mean by that is that they are enslaved to what? Alcoholism, work schedules, chasing more money, more power, more sex, more stuff in order to feel that sense of fulfillment and purpose and meaning and belonging in their life. We have all these things teaching us about the power of yourself and personal power. And look, you can create anything. And then here we are, still enslaved, in bondage to things. We're still serving other masters. A lot of people are not living freely. And I'm talking about not like, I'm free to do what I want. I'm free to go what I want. I'm not going to let him or her tell me what I can and can't do. I'm talking about a freedom that is in your soul, a freedom that is in your heart, a freedom that is an experience that you can't explain, that is just like an experience in your body. There is a seed inside of all of us that craves deep love, that craves that deep love, that craves that intimacy, that craves that connection, that craves connection with each other. We've bought into another lie that says we don't really need each other. I don't need him, my husband. He doesn't need me. We're two independent beings, but then we're all one. And it's sort of like there's a lot of confused teachings happening out there, and there's a lot of people buying into things that sort of feel good, but feel off at our system, right? In our system, they feel off. There are seeds inside of us that are always trying to bring us back to truth, to the origin of who we are, to bring us back home. I really believe that.